Okay, so a couple of days ago, before this video, I actually uploaded a video saying that Dante Exum has somewhat revived his career after he actually had an incredible performance with the Olympics team. Obviously, it looked like it was going to be, confirmed that this guy could actually be a solid role player in the NBA, but there was one little catch. In the video, I did say that his contract is currently non-guaranteed right now. And for him to kind of solidify himself as, kind of an NBA comeback, he would need to, of course, go into preseason, play some okay basketball, and then, of course, not get injured. Unfortunately, it does look like that with his, kind of preseason. Apparently, we saw a little bit of injuries here and there, maybe with the Australian Olympic team, but we know he played incredibly well for them. Some people are saying right now that it just didn't work out in preseason. He yet again could not get his body right, and there were just a couple of issues here and there, and the Houston Rockets weren't willing to take a gamble on him, paying a player $5 million to maybe only play a couple games in the season. Subsequently, because of this, he was therefore waived by the Houston Rockets, and now I look like an absolute fool for making that video saying Dante Exum's career is revived. To be fair, in that video I did say his career is revived unless an injury was to happen, and hey, it looks like maybe there might have been a slight injury to him here and there in a, training camp, pre-season, whatever it might be, but yeah, I guess it kind of won't be really too confirmed just yet. The kind of details are still coming out right now. There was rumors that he was already looking to buy a house maybe in Houston, all of this kind of different stuff. So it's really kind of upsetting to see that he was waived. Some people have brought up the question, will he of course get another chance in the NBA? Will someone go out and of course sign him? To be honest, I don't think so. I think considering the Houston Rockets desperately needed a backup point guard / guard and decided to pass on Exum is a pretty good indication that no team will probably be looking to get him. Again, I really do think if the Houston Rockets don't want him, then it's just probably going to be no team is going to get him, because they were the one that were most desperate to, I think, have a guard potentially here and there. And of course, it didn't happen. I guess it didn't work out. And I think the Rockets will be a little bit disappointed with this as well, as now their depth is a little bit worse. They've got DJ Augustin, but I'm assuming they'll probably trade him pretty soon. He kind of doesn't really fit exactly their timeline. Plus, there could be somewhat of value out there for maybe DJ Augustin somewhere out in the league. But when we, kind of look at that whole kind of landscape, there will be a league out there that will be looking to sign Dante Exum. I think pretty obvious. I think the NBL will look to go and sign him. For those of you who don't know, the NBL is the Australian Basketball League. I believe it's got 8 Australian teams and I think 1 New Zealand team currently in there. And I believe they've just expanded a new team, and they are continuously expanding more and more teams, I think, as the years will go. The issue is as well, I'm not too sure if there's a conflict of interest kind of thing there, because Dante Exum is a part owner for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. I'm pretty sure he owns 5 or 10% of it. So that is, one of the new Melbourne teams that was made a couple of years ago. Will he look to go and play there? You would think so, because I wouldn't think he would be allowed to compete against his own team. That would be a little bit weird, of course. But hey, I'm not exactly too sure how that is all going to work out, in the long term kind of things. The issue I feel like with Dante Exum is, I feel like he could actually make more of an impact on the NBA for the Houston Rockets than an NBL team. And you might be like, well, how's that possible? The reason I don't think he'll really make that much of an impact in the NBL is because the NBL is renowned to have so many defenders. It is an insanely defensive league. We've seen sometimes NBL teams come up against, NBA teams, in preseason. Sometimes the NBA teams legitimately struggle because of how defensively switched on the NBL teams are. It's crazy. And then when you see Australia kind of compete in the FIBA tournaments or the Olympics, they usually do pretty well against certain teams. They beat the USA in FIBA one year. just because they were able to outbeat him with their defense. Dante Exum doesn't really stand out in the NBL. There are a lot of players, not as good as him defensively, but there are still a lot of really good defenders and good playmakers here and there. I think the NBL, the players that always stand out are the very good shot creators. When LaMelo Ball was playing in the NBL, he was an alright shot creator at the time. He was still kind of learning the craft, but you could see he stood out. While RJ Hampton, who was not a shot creator, who was a defensive-minded player who is now in the NBA playing for the Orlando Magic, RJ Hampton did not stand out in the NBL at all. In fact, I'm pretty sure he came off the bench on his team. He just didn't have that good of a season. That's because he's a defensive-minded, point guard that can also play make, and wasn't as good of a three-point shooter as he is now back then. So it kind of just didn't really work out. But again, when you see all these shot creators kind of come in, it does usually tend to work out. There are a lot of shot creators here and there coming to the NBL, but I guess I still feel like there's more defenders. You look at Matthew Dellavedova as well. He came to the NBL. He's playing for Melbourne United. I don't think he really stands out too much. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this is all, of course, going to go down. But you know what? I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see Dante Exum. I think he will come to the NBL. Hopefully he'll show enough to maybe get a contract back in the NBA. I think that might be his main target. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Houston Rockets will keep tabs on him. Maybe they just said, well, he's injured right now. We can't guarantee him a contract. But maybe later in the year, if we need a backup guard and he's playing well and he's not injured, we'll go out and get Dante Exum. Hey, that's maybe what the Houston Rockets are looking at. I think Kevin Porter Jr., he needs some help. It'll be his first season at point guard, really. DJ Augustine will be there, but won't be there much, if that makes sense. And I think they'll need to bring in Exum eventually, or maybe just another backup point guard for that matter. Who knows? Maybe they look at Matthew Dellavedova. I don't even really know. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest NBA content and NBA news. Of course, don't forget, to go and subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRO/vlog channels. Of course, don't forget to check out my podcast as well if you haven't already, which I will all be putting in the description down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.